Please subscribe.
The 2019 Hyundai Veloster gives asymmetry a second chance. It'd have been easy to drop the sporty Veloster hatchback from the lineup, as crossovers take over the Hyundai brand. But the Veloster brings in buyers who might find a Civic Coupe alluring, or a VW Golf enticing. It would have been even easier to add a fourth door to the 2019 Veloster. Hyundai hasn't. The two left door, one right door layout still antes up something completely unlike anything else on the road. Something no Civic or Golf can offer. It'll be fascinating to watch as the new, more compelling, better sorted Veloster tackles the top Civic Type R and VW Golf GTI when it spins off a high-performance 275 horsepower Veloster N later this year. Until then, we give the 2019 Veloster a 6.2 out of 10. It's better looking, much more refined, and handles much better, but it's still a slim-hipped hatch with considerably more attitude than space. Sold in 2.0 Premium, turbocharged R-Spec, Turbo, and Turbo Ultimate trim, the 2019 Veloster smooths out some of the wrinkles of the first-generation model. Hyundai's deep baggage styling tricks make sense of its offbeat door setup, though we're not 100% sure about the abrupt end of the side scoops. The interior is similar to that in the Kona SUV and it's agreeably finished in plastic trim and capped by a big touchscreen. Performance ranges from naturally aspirated to fully stoked. We've only driven the Veloster Turbo in R-Spec and Ultimate trim, but the 201 horsepower Turbo 4 pairs well with the Veloster's stripped-down curb weight of less than 3,000 pounds. The manual turbo has a sweetly snicky shift lever, while dual-clutch cars have clean mid-range shifts, with an occasional bumble and low-speed changes. Handling's improved this year thanks to a stiffer body structure, and a choice between 18-inch all-season or summer tires. Quick steering isn't quite as precise as the new multi-link suspension's ride motions, but it's fine. The Veloster N's limited slip diff and P0 tires will be welcome adds. Interior space isn't really changed, but the Veloster's front seats have better padding. The funky door layout is more a stunt than a utility plus, but the Veloster has good cargo space once its rear seats are folded down, and occasional space in back for two adults. Safety data isn't in yet, but the 2019 Veloster gets standard automatic emergency braking. Blind spot monitors and adaptive cruise control can be fitted. All Velosters get standard power features, Bluetooth, and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Turbo Ultimate models have beige leather with natty striping, navigation, wireless smartphone charging, and a head-up display but no power seats. The 2019 Hyundai Veloster retains its same unique shape, with the sporty roofline and a spare door on the passenger side. But it's reached deep into its bag of styling riffs to clean up a shape that's more harmonious than before, more neatly formatted. We give it a 7 for styling. With the 2019 Veloster, Hyundai has better blended a deep front fascia, a prominent grille, and slimmer headlights with the rest of the Hyundai lineup. Designers pushed the A-pillars rearward to stretch the hood out, tapered the roofline, and flagrantly flared the wheel arches. An abrupt end to the front side sculpting in the rear fender flare would be worthy of a TED Talk on any other car, but the Veloster's funked-up door collection pushes all that to the background. In back, a new diffuser flanks the center exit exhausts, with a single opening in the standard Veloster and a pair of pipes in the Veloster Turbo. A contrasting roof is available for the Turbo model as well. Much of the Veloster's interior design is inspired by the Hyundai Kona. A large display, a 7.0 inches standard, but an 8.0-inch display is optional, crowns the center stack. The cabin has healthy amounts of piano black trim and hard plastic, but it's executed very nicely. Each of the Veloster's 5 trims gets its own unique interior theme, with simple black cloth on the base 2.0-liter model and a black cloth leather combo with red piping on the 2.0 Premium. Move up to the Turbo R-Spec, the entry-level trim for the mid-level engine, and there's a neat black cloth with yellow accents. The mid-grade Turbo wears black leather and cloth with red accents, while the Turbo Ultimate features the same black and red dash design with beige leather upholstery. Veloster N's get their own styling bits with red accents and a quartet of paint color options. While Hyundai holds off on the hottest Veloster N for a launch later this year, it's told out some Veloster Turbos for initial press drives. Minus the base and top models, we think its performance merits a 5 out of 10, though we nearly awarded it another performance point for its strong turbo powertrain. Hyundai largely carried over the Veloster's two standard powertrains with its redesign. The BAS 2.0-liter inline 4 has slightly more power than it did before, 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque, versus 132 horsepower and 120 pounds-to-foot in the 2017 model. Hyundai skipped the 2018 model year. The engine first appeared in the 2017 Elantra. We'll add more to this review once we've sampled the base powertrain, which pairs that engine with either a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic. The Veloster Turbo's 1.6-liter, meanwhile, is a pure carryover, boasting the same 201 horsepower and 195 pounds-to-foot of torque as every other vehicle with this engine. With peak torque at 1,500 revolutions per minute, it's energetic in response, and feels strong enough to turn in 6 seconds 0 to 60 miles per hour times, thanks to curb weights for the range that start at 2,701 pounds and rise to only 2,987 pounds on Turbo Ultimates. Turbos also get amplified, synthetic noise pumped into the cabin. The studio-created sound isn't obnoxious, and can be toggled down from pop and crackle levels to off, at which point the Turbo 4 sounds pretty mellow and sweet, anyway. The 2019 Veloster also adopts a set of drive modes that toggle from normal to sport and smart on automatic versions, and normal and sport on manual models. The modes alter steering heft, throttle progression, and shift timing. The Veloster Turbo R-Spec comes with a 6-speed manual and later this year will come with a B&M Racing Sport shifter. It's a snicky piece with cool metal touch and precise throw, and a nice choice versus the optional 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, which works fine at moderate speeds and higher, but bumbles an occasional shift at city speeds, like every other DCT on the planet. Topping the range is the new Veloster N with its 275 horsepower, 260 pounds-to-foot 2.0-liter Turbo 4 paired to a 6-speed manual transmission. We'll add more here once we've driven it, too. Fuel economy for the lineup ranges from 25 miles per gallon city, 33 highway, 28 combined on manual shift-based cars, to 28/34/30ths of a mile per gallon on dual-clutch turbos. Hyundai doesn't just ditch the lower economy BAS engine because the turbo's supply constrained, and is more expensive to boot. With its stiffer body and new rear suspension, the 2019 Hyundai Veloster has more predictable and capable handling. We needled a pair of turbos around suburban Austin, and found the new Veloster doesn't get flustered much. The suspension now pairs front struts with a multi-link rear suspension, which replaces the rear torsion axle. Mid-corner bumps and imperfections easily upset the last-generation Veloster, but no more. It doesn't have huge amounts of ride compliance, but the 2019 Veloster Turbo on all-season tires feels soft enough to be comfortable every day. It skitters through tight corners as it overpowers those less aggressive all-season treads, but on the summer tires sold as an upgrade, the grip lives up to the precision dialed into the new rear end. If its steering were just a bit more involving and accurate, there's some on-center wonder the Veloster would earn some instant comparisons to the Civic C. As it stands, it's close. The N version may turn the talk into comparisons with Honda's striking Civic Type R. The Veloster N will have a firmer suspension, a limited slip front differential, and special steering tuning. It will come standard with 13.0-inch front and 11.8-inch rear brakes, while upsized 13.6 and 12.4-inch units will be optional. Standard tire fitment for the Veloster N will be 18-inch Michelin Pilot Super Sport rubber, while 19-inch Pirelli P0 tires will be an option. Stay tuned. With the 104.3-inch wheelbase, and the 166.9 inches overall length, the 2019 Hyundai Veloster is only fractionally larger than the first-generation model. Interior space is almost unchanged, but interior quality has vaulted to new heights. We give it a 5 for comfort and quality. The Veloster's hatchback styling puts 2 doors on the passenger side, 1 longer door on the driver's side, and a hatch for cargo. That gives it some interesting utility, though we wonder if the distinctive layout would be missed by any buyers. In front, the Veloster seats come covered in cloth on base models, a Greek cloth and leather combination on some turbos, and full leather on the top Turbo Ultimate. We sat in the more expensive seats, and found them much improved over the last Veloster, with much thicker upper back bolsters and a good range of manual adjustment. The cabin's somewhat narrow, still, but the Veloster doles out just enough headroom on sunroof-equipped models to keep tall drivers and front passengers from touching head-to-headliner. Power seats are no longer on the options list. The dash borrows many styling elements from the Hyundai Kona SUV, including central display screens and climate controls. A 7.0-inch touchscreen infotainment system comes standard, while an 8.0-inch is optional. Both displays sit atop an attractive center stack that features a handsome, logical arrangement for VEC and redundant audio controls. At the bottom, an iPhone X-sized cubby sits alongside standard USB and auxiliary inputs. A wireless charging pad is available, too. Unlike the Kona, the Veloster sets off the passenger with grey center console trim, while the driver's framed in black. It's a visual distraction from the petite size, and it works. Medium-sized passengers are the largest passengers that fit easily in the Veloster's back seat, and those in the rear left seat will have to choose whether to enter via the rear right side door and clamber over the seat, or to swing the wide driver's side door and jump in that way. It's not much easier to get in the Veloster for that fourth passenger than if it were a 2-door hatchback. A 6-foot passenger will have to slouch a bit and splay their knees to fit, even if the passenger and driver slide their seats well forward. Fold the rear seat down and the Veloster becomes the 2-seat cubby hole it longs to be. There's 19.9 cubic feet behind the rear seat, about that much extra when the rear seat's folded down. Lift over is high, but Hyundai tucks the hatch release cleverly into the rear wiper housing. Interior space hasn't changed much, but the Veloster's interior sounds much more impressive than before. The stiffer body means less suspension noise. The active noise control for the Turbo 4 can be shut off completely. Door panels are thicker, there's more sound deadening, and though the Veloster cabin wears lots of hard plastic, it's toned and grained to fool an otherwise sharp eye. Since the 2019 Veloster is new, neither crash test agency has been able to put it through the paces. Until then, we'll abstain on a safety rating. Every 2019 Veloster gets forward collision warning with automatic emergency braking as standard, along with the rear-view camera and active lane control. Higher-spec models can be fitted with blind spot monitors, automatic high beams, and a driver attention display that detects when it might be time for a coffee break. Adaptive cruise control and pedestrian detection are available, but only on the most expensive Turbo Ultimate. The R-Spec gets blind spot mirrors instead of electronic monitors. We'll update this section when more data is published. The 2019 Veloster is available in 5 trims, with 2 designated for the 2.0-liter, named 2.0 and 2.0 Premium, and 3 variants for the Turbo, starting with an R-Spec, an eponymous trim, and the Turbo Ultimate. We give it an 8 out of 10 for features. In addition to a good warranty, the Veloster has ample standard features and good infotainment. Every 2019 Veloster gets power features, cruise control, a rear-view camera, Bluetooth, a 7.0-inch touchscreen display, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and forward collision warnings with automatic emergency braking. The base price of $19,385 includes an $885 destination charge and a manual transmission. A 6-speed automatic runs an extra $1,000. To that, the $23,635 Veloster Premium adds 18-inch wheels, blind spot monitors, keyless ignition, wireless charging, an 8.0-inch touchscreen for infotainment, infinity speakers, a moonroof, heated front seats, and cloth, synthetic leather upholstery. The $23,785 Veloster R-Spec swaps in the 1.6-liter turbo for and a manual transmission. It starts with the base model's gear, and adds Michelin Pilot Sport 4 summer tires on 18-inch wheels, LED headlights and taillights, keyless ignition, infinity speakers, and alloy pedals. The $26,285 Veloster Turbo takes that setup and adds the dual-clutch transmission, heated seats, a sunroof, blind spot monitors, and automatic climate control. At the top of the lineup, the $27,535 Veloster Turbo Ultimate offers either transmission and standard leather upholstery, a black roof, navigation, wireless charging, and pedestrian detection for its automatic emergency braking. It also sports a head-up display that shows attack and navigation commands. The 2019 Hyundai Veloster skips major drivetrain changes, and in the process scores good fuel economy ratings. We give it a 6 out of 10. The Veloster draws power entirely from 4 cylinders, with or without turbos. The naturally aspirated version earns EPA gas mileage ratings of 25 miles per gallon city, 33 highway, and 28 combined when it's fitted with a 6-speed manual gearbox. With the 6-speed automatic, the ratings rise to 27/34 of a mile per gallon. The 2019 Veloster Turbo checks in at 26/33 of a mile per gallon with the manual shifter, and 28/34 of a mile per gallon when equipped with the dual-clutch transmission.